I have the pleasure of having with me the chair of IUCN that is spread in more than 65 countries around the world, and he is a person who has been in the world of environment for more than 3 decades now. Southey, he is South African by birth, Canadian by environment, so to say, and by color he is Indian. If you look at him, we are on celebrating Holi, and Sean, nice to have you on the show.
A pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
So tell us, how is this festival going, the 2-day festival that you have so brilliantly organized here? We've seen lovely productions. What is your feedback on it?
So I am a huge believer that cultural centers bring people and engage them in important events. And over the last decade, Goa has become famous for film festivals. But there's never been a film festival focused on environmental issues. Yeah. And I cannot think of a place in India where these issues are more paramount. You have the fragile coast, you have the Western Ghats, you have a huge number of tourists coming in, a lot of people, and this community survives on tourism.
Yes.
And so it needs to be sustainable. So we felt it was a perfect place to bring our community to host a film festival, to get people talking about the environment.
One of the most brilliant aspects that we have observed here is that Sean and his team made sure that the youth are participating in this festival. I mean, it's sort of catch them young and teach them what matters. So that was a brilliant concept, Sean. That's surely one of your funders organizing such festivals?
So for us, activating young people starts with the process of understanding the issues. And a film is a beautiful way to understand the issues. So when I arrived yesterday morning and every single seat was full of young people, made my heart warm. But understanding is not enough. Then they have to start talking about it. And for me, there's 2 parts of the talking. After each film, there's a dialogue and there's a panel session. Yes. But what our real hope is, when they go back to the classroom, their teacher is also now engaged. So it becomes part of the discourse in the school. Content plus conversation leads to action. And at the end of the day, we want these young people to be activated for the environment.
So Sean, could you enlighten us, how do you all sit and choose which topics to be showcased here, and how do you all get it done?
So our partner, the Center for Media Studies out of Delhi, and Dr. Vasante is one of my international steering committee guiding our work. They've curated over 3,000 films. So when we come to an event like this, we get to choose from those 3,000 and put the right set together.
Okay.
What you always want is 25% Goan content.
Yeah.
So people can see productions from Goa, by Goans, about Goan issues. Then you want about 50% of the content to be on issues relevant to Goa. So we have a big track on climate change, a big track on marine protection.
Yeah.
Because these are issues that are at the center of some of the opportunities and challenges that Goa is experiencing. And then you want just some of the magic of environment.
Yeah.
That's why you bring the snow leopard into the room.
Yeah.
And you show people how beautiful our world is. It's the combination of these films as a set that I think can start getting a child or an adult to understand that the world is complicated, but there's things you can do about it.
Yes. So the youth do realize that they are living in a beautiful world and that they have to do something about it.
It is a beautiful world, and when you're based in Goa, it's sometimes hard to realize how lucky you are. You have beautiful food, beautiful people, you have the Western Ghats, you have hotspots of biodiversity.
Yes.
So it's important to show them other places, but it's important to be reminded when we live in a paradise, and that paradises are potentially at risk if we don't manage well.
Absolutely. Sean began his career not far from Goa, in another beautiful state of India, that's Gujarat. So go down to the late 80s and tell us about your journey.
So It's interesting for me because I first visited Goa as a tourist in 1984.
Wow.
So that's almost exactly 40 years
40
ago.
years back.
It's when the beach was hippies and dancing and bananas for sale and no casinos, no big businesses. But I probably come back to India 10 times since. I worked in Gujarat for 10 months with a group called AKRSP India, working on women's issues and community forestry. And I've fallen in love with India and what India represents in terms of passion and engagement and environmental movement.
Yeah.
The number of small initiatives, the micro grants, the energy you find from the entire community here is very impressive.
Yeah.
So for me, when we had to choose a location for our annual steering committee, and we could choose anywhere in the world,
Yes.
we first decided India to honor, to grow our community here. And then we decided Goa because this is a particularly sensitive ecosystem and people can see the Western Ghats and the water and understand how diverse India is.
As he speaks, his eyes glow at the very mention of India, of Goa, and the environment. And finally, Sean, environment has been sort of in your system. It's been the greatest part of your life. So, when did you first get that feeling that okay, I have to dedicate my life to environment?
So it's my favorite question, my friend. When did you fall in love with nature?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite questions. And I fell in love with nature early in my 12, 13 years old, like many young boys, playing in the dirt and the sand and the water and seeing the small animals. But it was not, in fact, until I was living in Gujarat in a small town called Chotila, when I visited these community forestry projects with these women. I learned about biogas and the magic you can do with taking, waste and transforming it into clean energy. Yeah. And this showed me that there are micro solutions to the world's problems. They're happening in communities all over the world already. So I would actually pinpoint India as the place where I decided to dedicate my life to this work. Yeah. I went back to Canada, joined the Ministry of Environment, spent 5 years there, 12 years with the United Nations in the United Nations Development Program's environment team, 14 years with international NGOs working on environment. So for me, this is a lovely full circle back to the point of starting.
Yeah.
I was very pleased to see this national commitment, this national campaign launched in Montreal at the Convention of Biodiversity. By Prime Minister Modi, and it's called Life, lifestyle for the environment. Yeah. And I'm a campaigner by profession, and I believe campaigns are very effective because they engage the public. And I like this campaign because it helps people understand how they can put everyday behaviors into being environmental behaviors. And there's a guidance of over 90 different behaviors you can do as part of your life, from the way you shop, from the way you take care of yourself, from the way you live your life. Because if we all lived green lifestyles, we all lived with life, we'd have a much healthier environment.
So the color green should be part of our attitude.
Sometimes I like to tease that people say we're of different colors. I want us all to be one color.
Yes,
I want us all to be green.
What is your message to people of all ages?
So for me, it's a very simple message. Each action we take adds up. So whether it's turning off a light bulb, taking a short shower, watching what you purchase, those micro behaviors are important. But the biggest cultural change we can do is help people fall in love with nature. Take people outside. Take your kids outside, take your grandparents outside, experience nature, because when we love nature, it changes our culture and our behaviors. So that connection that we can feel and we can share is what will change the world.
There you go, Sean Southey, the chair of IUCN, has done a lot of work for decades in the field of environment. May God bless you for
Thank you.
keeping the earth safe for all of us, and we hope to follow your example as much as you can.
Well, thank you. As a commission of media people, you are our friends and our allies. So thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you very much. Sean Southey there.